Coach, every year at this event, you end up talking about the streak. What has kind of become your pet answer on this with regard to the streak?
Well, that we really don't talk about it. I mean, the media talks about it, our fans talk about it, our alumni talk about it, but we don't talk about that at our football building, and our complex, on the field, because we recognize that none of the games from 2014 and before that have any bearing on this game. We got to get ready for this year, this team, and this game, and that's always been our approach.
The seniors do take pride, though, in that they don't want to be the class that allows it to end. There is something there, I would imagine.
Yeah, and that's amongst themselves. If they talk amongst themselves about that, allow them to prepare the best way they think that they have to prepare themselves mentally. But from my standpoint, I never talk about the streak.
Mm-hmm. People talk a lot about the competitive gap that is growing between Army and Navy. I'm sure that's not something you want to dwell on. In a lot of ways, they're very similar to you still.
And I think about their season this year, Wags, and they lost a lot of close games.
Right. Some at the final buzzer.
They could have easily won, 5 more games or so. So, and as Jeff mentions, they're trying to find a way to win the close ones. And I thought about our 5 and 7 year. We lost 5 games by a total of 11 points.
Right.
So they're a team that I know. I have great respect for Coach Monken and the staff. I know a lot of their coaches. Got great respect for their kids because I know what they go through just by knowing our guys. And you got to be a tough person. So we know that they're going to come ready to go. So we got to make sure we're ready to go.
I was talking to Jeff a little bit, and he feels good about where things are headed. He said it's hard to see from the outside, but he sees things turning around. Do you, knowing Jeff the way you do you figure he is going to get the job done and turn this program around?
Well, I know he's working hard at this. I don't know. I don't know from the inside out and what they're doing. All I know is what our program and what we're doing. But I know that he's a hard worker, and I know that their staff's going to work tirelessly to get things turned around. It's Bernie. I guess he's in his position. I think it's so appropriate to what he plays nose guard, which nobody will see when the game's played. But it's because of his play we've been much better on defense. He's been solid in the middle. He's been able to clog the middle up, and because of that, we've been stout against the run. But he doesn't do it with any fanfare. Nobody really knows what he's doing. But that's kind of been his leadership style. He's done a really good job behind the scenes, leading our guys and making our guys. I shouldn't say make, but he did a really good job, I thought, in the off season, building the expectation and the culture of what this 2015 team wanted to be. And Bernie was a big part of that. Keenan would obviously talk to guys too, but Bernie's comments to the team carried a lot of weight. He was a big part of the chemistry and the foundation of this 2015 team.
Yeah, it's a big time. Obviously beating Army is number one on your goal sheet every year whenever you go into the season. That's your main goal. That's what you want to win. We set ourselves up with some pretty good success beating them 3 years over the year, so we definitely don't want to be the team to one break the streak. We also we really want to be the class that gets the Commander-in-Chief's trophy back home to Annapolis.
What has it been like to play with Coach for all 4 years? What can you speak about him? Throughout your time at the Academy?
I'm not inside other programs. I don't know how other head coaches are, but I can't imagine having a better leader on the football team, on the football field, but also just the leader of men that Coach Niumatalolo is, and how much he cares for us, and you could truly see how much he puts his heart into everything. We've just been blessed as a senior class. just in the world of college football that we live in, there's so much, coaches getting shuffled around, and these guys coming in, these guys leaving at the drop of a hat for a better offer, and with Coach Niumatalolo as the head guy, and then the entire coaching staff as a whole, it's been like a rock over the year. It's been solid. No one's really left. So we've just been truly blessed to play with those coaches.
How's it going to step on the field for the last time, playing against Army?
Yeah, I think back to the first time, freshman year, running out on that field for my first play and just kind of being taken back by it and kind of being overwhelmed. And I'm expecting I'm going to still have those same feelings that I had my first year, and hopefully I can block it out a little bit and still focus on my job, but at the same time I kind of want to just be a sponge and grasp it and just kind of take that moment and hopefully just hold on to it forever.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about your memories of Army-Navy. First and foremost, you're going to be a rarity in that you get to play in 4. Not a lot of guys get to play in 4. Do you appreciate that?
Definitely, it's a special opportunity that I've afforded, and it's something I really haven't thought too much about, but I think that I think it's pretty cool.
All right, let's go through them each one. The freshman year, close game, you throw the pass to Brandon. Do you remember that pass?
Yeah, I do. That was a big play for us. That was a big drive. We kind of been stalling the whole game, and then we finally got it going on that drive. Had some huge third down conversions, and then we were able to make that play to Brandon. And then right after that,
Were you supposed to go to Brandon on that?
Yeah, it was a call. It was a call throw to Brandon the whole way.
And right on target.
Yeah, he made a great play over the corner, and that was big for us.
And you talked about scoring the touchdown. That's something that still is a good memory in your career?
Absolutely. I think that's something that'll stick with me forever.
What about sophomore year? That was all 3 games have been in Philly, but the sophomore year was a little more lopsided. Of the 3 games you've been in, that's the only one that was. What do you remember about that game in particular?
It was cold. Wow, it was so cold that game.
It snowed that day?
Snow and ice on the field. I was sliding when I got tackled. I was able to break the single season record that game, which was pretty awesome against Army. And it was just a very dominating performance by us.
Do you remember catching the 2-point conversion?
Yeah. We've been working on that play all year in practice, all year. And we finally ran it, and it worked perfectly.
Who threw it to you?
Brandon.
Okay, that's right. And it's still to this day the only 2-point conversion you've had, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And then last year's game, another slugfest. You guys were what do you remember about last year's game?
We got off to a really slow start. They got that block punt for a touchdown. Things were looking pretty grim. But we just found a way to win, and I think that's been kind of the story of the Army-Navy game with us. It's just finding ways to win.
So you have an opportunity to become the first quarterback in Navy history to go 4-0 against Army. What would that mean? All these records you have, that's one legacy that, it's the biggest game of the year. That's something that would be really, I would imagine, pretty special.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. But it's not going to happen just by showing up. We got to prepare this week and next week and really get ready for these guys.
So when the streak and all of the talk about that, how do you look at it personally?
I don't really pay attention to it. I just focus on this year's game. The streak is there. It's not going away. People are going to talk about it. Just got to let it kind of run off you.
So, obviously, in all these previous Army-Navy games, you knew there was going to be another one. This is it. Does it make it more special? Is it something you're going to try to savor every moment of that day?
Yeah, I think I'm going to just really enjoy the little things about it, coming out to warm up, running out of the tunnel. The game is the game. It doesn't change. Singing the alma mater, second. Those are all things that I'm going to really enjoy.
What as far as the seniors and what this game means to them, do you feel differently now that you're a senior than maybe you did those previous years? Because I imagine the previous years you were playing for the seniors.
Right. Honestly, no. I approached every game the same way. And it's kind of how I've been my whole career. Just approach every game the same way, and that's really where I am right now.
So Coach has always talked about a lot of times guys forget their own name. This game gets to them. Have you ever felt that way, or did you? I know how poised you are, but have you always, Army-Navy, when it came time to kick it off and it was game time, you felt like, hey, just another ball game?
Yeah, definitely. I've never really gotten way too overhyped for the game. Just approach it the same way and just play. Just continue to play. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be bad. You got to keep playing.
So this is one year that you all are probably more favorites than you've ever been with the records, and those guys just talk about that they don't care about that. I guess if a loss would be shocking to a lot of people. You can't think about it that way, can you?
I don't think about losing ever. Just gonna focus on preparing and getting ready to win. I mean, like they said, records do go out the way. It doesn't really matter what anything's happened up to this point. It's only about what we do on Saturday, December 12th.
And the Commander-in-Chief's trophy, that's out there, and the only way to get it is to beat Army.
Absolutely, and that's the number one priority.
Coach, how much does Keenan's selflessness sort of set a tone for your team, and how much has it done that for 3 years?
I think it's sent a big part. And really, I think about, kind of your question too with Bernie, but when your best two players are two of your hardest workers, it's easy to set the tone. You know what I mean? It's easy as a coach to coach guys because your best two players are the hardest workers. And so it's hard for a freshman or a second string guy or anybody to kind of slack off because your best players are hardworking. And Keenan has been so selfless. It's made other guys that maybe, hey, I should be getting the ball more, I need to be playing more, make you realize, well, our best player is a selfless guy. Let me do my job to the best of my ability and not worry about other stuff.
You sort of just gave him a chance to stump for the Heisman Trophy, and he wasn't about to do it. He might be the only candidate who doesn't want to speak in his own behalf. How special is that to you?
Well, it's just, again, it speaks to who he is. He's also, he's a smart kid. It recognizes that if it happens, it happens. It's not going to be because he talks about it. You got to play. You got to perform on the field. He's got to finish strong and do the best he can. So that's where his focus is at in Army and trying to play the best game he can. Like I said, it is who he is. He's a really good kid. But him, self-promote himself is not going to help him. He's got to do his job. But that's always been him. He's just a very meticulous kid.
All the records he set, one thing that would be really remarkable and put him down in Navy folklore, he could be the only quarterback in Navy history to go 4-0 against Army. Can you think about that? It's never been done.
That's impressive. There have been some really good quarterbacks that have come here, but to go 4-0 against your rivals that'd be remarkable because it's hard.
Roger Staubach was only 2-1.
And it's hard to start as a freshman here. Just with plebe summer and all that you go through as a freshman, it's hard to start as a freshman. So that would be remarkable if he was able to.
How much you dominate them? Does it work the other way in that you want to try to block that out with how much success you've had against them in recent years?
Yeah, you can't really get caught up in the past. The last few years isn't going to win the game on December 12th. So we're just working on preparing and then, treating like a new year. It's a new team, new year. And we haven't done anything yet. We have to go out and prove it, on the field.
You had one of your best seasons ever as an academy. What has that been like, getting the whole team together and having that kind of a season? It's not just you; it's everybody.
Yeah, it's not over yet, and we're just still continuing to work. We haven't really talked about what kind of season we have. I honestly don't like talking about the season as a whole just yet because we got a couple more games to go. So once we're done with those games, then we'll chat about it and be able to talk about the type of season we have.
Have you been reading stuff about you being a Heisman Trophy candidate?
No, I've been hearing a lot about it, but I don't read that stuff. I try to stay away from it.
You feel you're worthy of the award?
I think that's it'd be pompous of me to try to answer that question. So I'm not gonna answer.
Well, what do you think being nominated, or maybe not something not nominated, being considered for that award? Because that's
it's truly an honor. It's definitely grateful to be in the conversation. I think every kid has that dream of hoisting the trophy, but that's not why you play the game. It's bigger than just individual awards. So part of it.
Have you thought about playing in the NFL? With your unique skill set, with running and throwing too, about it.
If I was given the opportunity, then certainly I would definitely do so. But like I said, you don't play the game for those type of things, and that's not a focus right now because right now the focus is Army. So once the season's over, and then I'll consider all those other things.